And here we go. Hi, everybody. I'm Teresa Lysam. Thanks for jumping onto my pop-up event that I'm calling Holiday Peace, Emotional Health for Happier Holidays. I did not make a presentation. You're just going to have to look at me and listen to me. And I'd love for you to interact, but again, I don't know if I can make that happen because I can't see the chat. So we're just going to go for it. All right. If you want to drop any questions in the comments, I will look at the comments afterward and answer them. So let's get going. There's lots of heightened emotions at this time of year that accompany these different holidays. And there's different reasons for that. You know, some of them are very intense. Some of them are not so intense. That might be up 1 minute or one day and down the next minute. So we have these expectations that we want to be high and positive and have a good experience for these holidays, but it doesn't always play out that way. So let's look at what creates an emotional toll during the holidays. So what is the reason behind this? And it's multi-layered, multifaceted, but it could hinge on your finances. Maybe you don't have the financial level that you would like to get or offer the experiences that you would like to for the holidays. So that might be a stressor. Family dynamics could be a stressor, depending on your family situation and your past history together. And, you know, where people are at in their lives now. So that can get really complicated. If you have a family dynamic that has traditionally, historically been strained, then the holidays could just exasperate that. So again, multi-layered. Holiday obligations. You might feel obligated to do certain things, whether you want to do them or not, but people obligate you to do certain things. And you might feel overwhelmed from the busyness that's expected of you. Got to go here, got to do this, got to bake this, got to, like you're pulled in multiple directions. So there may be some unmet expectations. So expectations you hold for the perfect holiday that we see in the media, through advertisements, through our kids' expectations. We want everything to be perfect. So we might set our own expectations for what we view that could be the perfect Christmas. So expectations of ourselves, expectations of others. We have certain expectations of how we want others to act. And when they don't act according to our expectations, that could trigger us and set off some emotions. Just general mental wellness challenges. Maybe we're not taking care of ourselves properly. We're not taking the time to do the self-care activities that we would normally do. I know the days are shorter and we don't get out as much. So that in of itself can be stressful for some people. So you can see there's multiple reasons and multiple layers and multiple variables that causes this mixed bag or this roller coaster of emotions at this point in time. How many of you feel like that? I'll just assume that you're saying yes. Some of them some people feel more of an extreme at the far end of the spectrum. Some of them are in the middle. Some of them don't feel it at all. Everybody's at a different place. So some mental health challenges that might pop up, why some people or many people find the holiday season to be especially challenging. And it could just be increased or compounded emotional strain from a multitude of factors. Loneliness, maybe people that used to be around are not around anymore. Things have changed. You're in a different chapter of your life, and you might have moved, and you just don't have access to people that you would have had access to in the past. So you could be feeling lonely at this point in the year. So you're feeling some loss, experiencing some grief of either situations, people, different time in your life. So there's lots of grief and loss, not just around a person, but it could be around experiences or the way you used to do things, or some holiday traditional activities or items that you used to always put up all the time, and now you don't, or now you can't. So again, you could see lots of different reasons for our emotions to be all over the place. The shorter days can really, really affect some people's mental health. So that could lead to some depression. The days are shorter. We don't have as much sun. It's cloudier. So that depends on where you live and how you react to the climate, to the shortened days. Not everybody, it doesn't affect everybody, but some of us it does. Past family trauma. So again, historical things that have happened in the past, they just come to fruition, or come to head, I should say, when you get around certain people or in certain situations that they've never been resolved. They've never been addressed. People still are holding a certain view of you that you're not even that person anymore. So past family trauma could be thrown into the mix as well. Now, I do want to remind you that serious issues require professional support and resources. So that's not why I'm here. I'm not a mental health professional. I am not a fixer. I am just a partner and a guide along your journey to claiming your wholeness and your emotional freedom. So just know that if you need to get some more professional support, please do so. We're going to go ahead and bring in the idea of some essential oils, because I'm an essential oil lover. I love essential oils, and I just want to bring them in because that's going to help us shortly when we move through a really quick process. So there's a blend called Holiday Joy. It's from doTERRA. And every essential oil and every essential oil blend has an emotional benefit to it. And Holiday Joy is considered the oil of centered celebration. So using Holiday Joy, which I don't know if it's sitting here or not, but over 10 like it is. Nope, that's not it. Should have had that out in advance. So Holiday Joy, the blend for centered celebration. So by smelling a blend or an oil, it starts working with your body chemistry immediately. We have this aroma has this ability to immediately go from your nose through your olfactory bulb into your brain where emotions, memories are held. So there's an immediate reaction to scents and aroma, especially essential oils. So this particular blend encourages reconciliation when unhealed issues have caused a rift or conflict. So this blend can actually invite people to come together and experience the warmth and comfort of positive relationships. So it can foster a feeling of joy, celebration, and excitement. It can be diffused. It can be smelled just out of the bottle. It can help rekindle that family relationship when there's been distance, separation, estrangement. So it just helps us really cultivate a spirit of simplification and peace and connecting connectedness as the focus of the holidays. So kind of shift our focus from those negative, stressful emotions to something that's simple, peaceful. We are together. We're all in this together. We're all experiencing this common holiday, this common experience, and we want it to be positive. It's a gentle reminder to embrace the love and warmth that healthy family relationships can bring. It also teaches us the importance of boundaries in healthy family relationship. This is especially true for individuals who overgive. So some people might have a tendency to overgive of their time, overgive of their resources. And that could be stressful on that person who is always giving, always giving, always giving. So it kind of teaches us that we are allowed to conserve our energy. We're allowed to, set our boundaries. We are allowed to balance our giving. We are allowed to nurture ourselves because that's going to help us with our own healthy relationships and the healthy relationships between us and those around us. Because it is up to us to manage our own emotional life. It is up to us. So we can have things, situations, people triggering our emotions, but it's ultimately up to us to manage them, rebound from them, change them, pivot. And so it's important just to recognize what's going on. So having that awareness is the first step to really helping ourselves move from that negative set of emotions to something more positive. So these are going to help us help ourselves. But oils, this particular blend in that I just spoke about, Holiday Joy. But any essential oils that are uplifting and energizing can be useful. So let's kind of talk about how to cope with where you're at. You want an awareness around where you're at right in any particular moment or as you go into an upcoming holiday. Do you feel overwhelmed? Do you feel lonely? Do you feel unfulfilled? So really try to sit with yourself and allow those emotions to bubble up and identify them. It's good to know what stage of life you're in. Maybe you're in a stage of life where you don't have the little kids around. Maybe there's no kids around. Maybe you have a, limited set of connections at this phase of your life. So a stage of life is going to play into what's happening for you. So just again, grasp an awareness around that. Sit with yourself and see what's happening there for you. And honor that stage of life you're in. Instead of lamenting and, crying over what is no longer in your experience, it was in the past, embrace and look to see what's happening now for you and what phase of life you can honor at this point in time. What are your core desires and beliefs for this holiday? So actually look at your beliefs. A belief is just something that you keep repeating over and over and over. So to me, that means it's changeable. Our beliefs are changeable. What are your core desires? What are your intentions? What are your expectations for any particular holiday situation? Do those expectations need to be changed? Do they need to be, brought in a little bit? Do they need to have a different focus? And what would help you the most? What would help you the most at this point in time? Getting out around people more? reaching out to people for some support or some smiles and some laughs, or staying in and cozying in and, just taking the time to become introspective. What is going to help you the most? And maybe it could be a good balance and a good mix of those two. So just having that awareness and finding out and really assessing where you're at this point in time before you step into a stressful situation. So here's some coping tips for those who are feeling overwhelmed with emotions, with the busyness, with the time and the expectations and whatever else. So you could do some deep breathing. We always forget that we have breath. We can deep breathe. It's simple. It's easy. It's readily available. Just some 3 deep breaths. If you have an essential oil, that would be awesome. If you have your holiday joy, that would be even better. But if not, that's okay. You just take your 3 deep cleansing breaths. I like to hold the cleansing breath at the top, just momentarily, and let it out with a real intense release, where you're really pulling your belly in and expelling all of that air that we brought in. Feel free to let out a sound. So don't discount the simple tool of breathing. Reframing the story, reframing what's happening, reframing how you're viewing something, putting a different perspective on it. What is the gift here? What is the joy that I can unpack here? What is the joy that is taking place? So just reframe, pivot, look at what you can discover, look at what's going on with some curiosity. What's the miracle taking place? And really staying grounded. Again, you can use oils to ground yourself. You can just feel your feet on the ground, on the floor. Feel your body sitting wherever it happens to be sitting or lying. Just really feel, bring an awareness to your senses, and really just ground down into our planet who supports us. And, be realistic, meaning, so if your emotions are out of control and you're thinking certain things, you're making up stories in your head, are they really true? You're maybe putting words and thoughts into somebody else's head that you really don't know what they're thinking. So question what your thoughts are. Question if what you're thinking is really true. Now, what you're feeling is, I'm not denying what you're feeling, but go to the cause of those feelings. Why is this happening? What is this trying to tell me? What is my body trying to tell me? What is the situation trying to bring to light for me? And then choose compassion for yourself, compassion for others, compassion for the situation as it's playing out. So give ourselves grace and compassion and see how that brings you to a more peaceful, calm way of being. I'm going to mention, we already mentioned aromatherapy. So breathing in these oils, any type of oil, essential oil, high quality essential oil, is going to really change your brain and change your chemistry and help you calm down. But I'm going to throw out the word hygge. Hygge, H-U-G, H-Y-G-G-G. G-G-G. H-Y-G-G-E, hygge. Hygge is a Danish practice. And so I invite you to look up what Hygge means, Hygge, and it's a concept. It's all about finding the peaceful moments or carving out peaceful moments on purpose. Gathering with people you love and care about, even if it's just yourself, creating a cozy, warm, welcoming spot for yourself with some oils diffusing or with beautiful music. Maybe the lighting is just perfect and you got your favorite book and your favorite little blankie. So it's a concept. It's not just a word. It's contentment. It's appreciating life's little pleasures. So create some hygge moments and a hygge situation, an environment for yourself. And then focus on the spiritual significance of the holiday. What is the holiday really about for you? Is it really about spending money and buying gifts? And that's part of it, but what's behind that before it got really commercialized? So focus on the spiritual significance and how you want to feel. How do you want to feel during this celebration or during this situation or during this gathering? How do you want to feel? Actually, set out the intention and be proactive and visualize how you want to feel before you step into that situation, step into that gathering, or imagine how you're going to feel when you come out of that situation. And if you don't totally make it the whole way, celebrate what part of it you do successfully maneuver through by planning how you want to feel, how you wanted to feel, how you wanted to finish up that particular experience. So let's look at some tips, coping tips for those who feel unfulfilled. So I just talked about some coping tips for those who feel overwhelmed. Now there might be people that feel incomplete, unfulfilled. If you're in that situation, you might want to see how you can serve others at this particular point in the year. How can you serve people who are lonely themselves, people who are underprivileged, people who don't have the beautiful life that you have? So shift your focus on others and how you can serve them. We already talked a little bit about visualizations before stepping into a situation. So don't underestimate the power of positive visualizations. And just repeat the same ones over and over and over, or write them out and read them to yourself. Record your voice and allow yourself to listen to them. Reframing what's happening. We already talked about this. Focus, shift your focus from here, what's lacking, what's not working, to over here, that what is working, what is the best thing that's happening in this situation. Focus on what you can gather in a positive way from any situation. Again, hygge situations, hygge environments, hygge moments in time. Create that hygge for yourself. And then be active. Like, what can you do to be more active? I know we can't get out as much as we'd like to, but can you take some classes? Can you take a walk in nature? Can you sit by the window with your music and your bird sounds? Can you take a cooking class? Do some creative activity, either on your own or outside your home with other groups of people. Something you've always wanted to explore. Try something new. And again, focus on the spiritual significance. What is the holiday really about? And how do you want to feel? Because remember, we can take charge of that. So coping skills for everyone, no matter how you're feeling, just acknowledge those feelings. It's okay to acknowledge them, bring awareness to them. Once we give a name to them, it helps us be more in control and exposes them and shines a light on them. Ditch the guilt cycle. So you don't have to feel guilty about anything. Give yourself compassion and permission to not feeling guilty. And try to really pivot those negative thoughts, those negative beliefs you might have, those negative expectations. And you can tap to shift negative or heavy emotions. If you don't know about tapping, tapping is a process where you're using a very simple technique where you're literally just tapping, and it's called EFT. And you can look that up. It's all over. It's not hard to find at all. And it can walk you through the process. So it's emotional freedom technique is, I believe, what the initials stand for. So EFT, you can certainly use that as a tool to help shift your emotions, shift your thought patterns. Movement, any kind of a movement. Put on your favorite Christmas songs or any kind of music. Dance, stretch, do some wild and crazy shaking. Movement is going to really help you. So your body is going to help your mind shake loose of whatever pattern it's stuck in. Affirmations. I love affirmations. They're very important to me. So let me give you an affirmation that you can use. And I repeat these daily. So I usually have them printed out and use them as a tool again. I accept myself as I am. I accept myself as I am. My mind is filled with hope. My heart is filled with peace. I embrace simple moments of joy. I'm going to repeat those again. I accept myself as I am. My mind is filled with hope. My heart is filled with peace. I embrace simple moments of joy. So I'm going to ask you, out of those suggestions I made, I would love for you to put in the comments which ones you want to try this holiday season. And you don't have to pick 5. You can just pick one and try it a couple of times. And then maybe if that works or doesn't work, then go pick another one. So it doesn't have to be a big bunch of things. Just pick one thing. But I do want to offer one little release that I would like to share with you. And I'm just going to call this a mini release, but I do have a process where we find the emotion that we want to let go of. And we put a name to it, give it a name. We go through a process. I'm going to walk you just through the beginning part, and then we release it. And we use an essential oil to help with that release. And then we use an essential oil to anchor in a new way, a new positive way of being. Let me turn my light on. So the sun has shifted. So let me walk you through this release. If you have an essential oil anywhere, go ahead and grab it. That's always useful. In the process that I would walk you through, it would be a specific oil, but any oil will work. We can even invite in with our imagination an oil, and the frequency of that oil is going to really start working with our energetic field immediately. So if you don't have an essential oil and you want to invite in the blend called Holiday Joy, please do so. The oil of centered celebration. You can just imagine yourself smelling it. You could just smell from the bottle. You can put a drop in your hand, rub your hands together, And breathe it in. And while you're breathing that in, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and pick an emotion that you're feeling. It could be overwhelm, it could be grief, it could be loss, feeling scattered. You pick the emotion that is most prominent for you right now as we're prepping to go into our Thanksgiving holiday. And I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and just imagine it somewhere in your body. You can scan your body, you can see if you can locate it and notice what it feels like. If it, is it in your chest? Is it in your gut? Is it in your shoulders? And if you don't notice anything, that's okay too. This will still work. But I do want you to know that we are expending energy to hold this emotion in. It takes energy and effort to hold this emotion in our body, in our energy field. And so I'm going to invite you to release it and let it go. So it frees up some of your energy. So I'm going to ask you to repeat in your head the sentences I'm going to give you. I'll say them really slow. You can repeat them, then I'll repeat them again so you can hear it in a quicker cadence. So have your emotion in your head that you'd like to release and repeat after me. I choose to release this overwhelm, grief, loss, sadness, whatever your chosen emotion is. I choose to release this emotion with all of its negative attachments and hold on me. I now choose to release this emotion with all of its negative attachments and hold on me. I now hand it over to the divine for transformation and healing. I now hand it over to the divine for transformation and healing. And then see yourself releasing this emotion, whatever your chosen emotion was. See yourself releasing it. Visualize it floating out of you, higher and higher, taking all of its attachments with it. Feel yourself becoming lighter and more free as it leaves your mind, your body, and your spirit. See it completely taken away and dissolved by the divine. And then inhale your essential oil, whether it's a real essential oil or your imaginary essential oil. Either way, I want you to inhale 3 deep breaths. And whenever you're ready, you're welcome to open your eyes and just notice how you feel now. If there's been a shift in how that emotion was before we started and how you're feeling now that we've released that emotion. And again, you're welcome to leave in the comments what you are feeling. Now, this is just a little piece of the essential emotions release process that I walk people through for their own personal emotions that they are working on. I've given you some coping tips, hopefully a nice selection of coping tips you're invited to try. I really want you to have something that you can use, something practical that you can use for yourself. Because remember, we are in charge of our emotional life. So if you would like more of this process for yourself, either privately, you're welcome to leave a message, personal DM me, connect with me privately. We'll set up something maybe between the holidays. For those of you that leave comments, I'm going to choose one of you and gift you a session, a complimentary session. So one of you will get a complimentary session where I will walk you through your own personal emotion. I also have YouTube videos. It's a series, it's a playlist called One Emotion at a Time, where I've chosen different emotions and I walk you through the release of that particular emotion. So check me out on YouTube, see if there's one there that would fit what you're feeling. And I want to thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you showing up, listening to this, watching the recording, showing up for yourself so that you have tools that you can use for yourself so that you have a better holiday experience and more peace and more joy and more happiness around this upcoming holiday. So thank you so much, my friends. I so appreciate you. I'm Teresa Lysam. Please stay connected with me. Follow me on Facebook, on YouTube. I'm even on LinkedIn. And you have a great, great holiday. And it is my honor and privilege to have walked you through this. Thank you so much, my friends. Bye-bye.